Hi, my name is Raelene Stewart. I live at 16,000 Bent Tree Forest Circle, Dallas, Texas. And about a year ago, I started becoming aware of the issue of American cities putting extra fluoridation in their drinking water. And I really did not have any opinion one way or the other regarding the policy. However, I've learned a lot this year, and it seems to me that continuing the habit of adding the chemical waste byproduct, hydrofluorosilicic acid, to bring the public water supply fluoridation level up to 0.7 parts per million has the potential to cause more harm than to do good. I have been informed that the reason cities in America continue to doing this practice is that it's supposed to help reduce cavities, and especially for the socioeconomic peoples of the cities whose dental care is not so easily affordable. From my own personal experience with cavities, I'm just not completely convinced this is so. I have lived in big cities all across America, and I drank only city tap water until a few years ago when I switched to drinking mostly bottled water. I've drunk the equivalent of about 8 glasses of 8 ounces of water a day for most of my adult life, and I seldom drink any sodas. Even so, as an adult, around the year 2002, I was diagnosed as having 10 cavities in my mouth at one time. I'm a person who brushes her teeth twice every day with fluoride toothpaste, and I have done so since I was a child. I've never eaten a lot of sweets on a daily basis either, but I was not getting regular dental cleanings and checkups at that time. It had been about 10 years since I had seen a dentist, nor was I flossing my teeth. Even after that, I did not start getting regular dental checkups for a few years, and at that time I had another cavity plus other dental issues. So I thought about that a lot when I was hearing and reading about the controversy over adding additional fluoride to the public water supply. If adding additional fluoride to the public water supply is supposed to ward off and make sure we experience less cavities as a whole, why didn't it work for me? Personally, I feel that to prevent cavities and the spread of cavities if you get one, what is really needed is regular dental cleanings and checkups, along with flossing every day and brushing our teeth twice a day. For the last 8 years, I've been getting dental cleanings every 3 months and dental exams every 6 months, and I floss regularly. I have not had a cavity in years now, even though I have stopped drinking tap water as my main source of water and started drinking as much bottled water as possible. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Your next speaker, Henry Rodriguez.
Thank you very much. My name is Henry Rodriguez, 2404 Leal Street, San Antonio, Texas. And I want to thank you first for your commitment to this great city. I am the executive director for LULAC Concilio Zapatista, 4383, one of the most active and dynamic, well-respected LULAC councils anywhere in this country. And I say that with a lot of confidence, because we are. I place before you a packet of what my topic is about. And I just want to make a correction. It says that we are the most active. We're one of the. There's plenty out there that are doing some great work. If you check out my website, you'll see that we are very much for real. I also want to tell you that I'm so proud to be here and see the AARP people here, because I'm also part of that WISE group. I'm a card-carrying member of AARP. The League of United Latin American Citizens, the oldest and largest Hispanic civil rights organization in the country, stands firm in its opposition to fluoridation of public water anywhere in this country. We passed a resolution in 2011 at our national convention in Cincinnati, Ohio, before almost 2,000 voting delegates to that effect, saying, and what I claim, I am not a scientist, so I could never argue that, even though I have done quite a bit of research, because it's the right thing to do. But we are saying that forced, indiscriminate medication of our public water constitutes a civil rights violation. We are adamant about our cause. My resolution, which I was the only one that was allowed to get up and explain it and get grilled on it, passed unanimously at that That means that LULAC throughout this country is supportive. Now, I would ask that, knowing that you have taken up a cause, you have championed a cause at one time or another, that you champion the cause of accountability. Since 1965, fluoride has been put in your public water here, just like it has in San Antonio. Well, you want to know what have been the benefits of that situation. To this day, I know you don't have it. Therefore, as a responsible group that you are, governmental body that you are, you have that responsibility to ask those hard questions. What has been the benefits? You don't have it right now. I do appreciate all the work that you do. I know that you question everything that has to do with public money, millions of dollars. So this is another one that you have to undertake. It's a very simple request. I'm not going to go into elaborate on anything else but accountability. I really thank you for your time. Thank you.
Mr. Cadane.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Rodriguez, thank you so much for coming to Dallas. We're happy to have you here, and thank you for your cause. Thank you for fighting against the fluoridation, and I'm glad to hear that LULAC is backing that. That's nationally. We are naturally fluoridated in this city. And I think your cause is good for us to not fluoridate. Only 2 parts, 0.0002% is all we're trying to add on, and it's costing us over $1 million. This city could save $1 million by just dropping that 2%. And we are already fluoridated naturally, which is much better than what they're putting into our system today. It's not even a pharmaceutical grade fluoride they're using. So I appreciate you coming all the way from San Antonio to speak to us. And I'd like to, everyone that is backing Mr. Rodriguez, could you stand? We've got quite an audience against that. Thank you all so much for being here for this today. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming to Dallas.
Thank you. That's
And
like
hopefully
music
we
to my
can make
ears.
a little change here. We're still working, and it just seemed reasonable that we could drop that 2 points and wouldn't hurt us at all. So thank you guys for standing behind your cause.
Thank you so much. That's
you.
all we could ask.
Thank you.
For you to
Thank
take a good
you,
look
Mayor.
at it.
You may begin. Paul McKinney.
Thank you, Mr. Orleans. My name is Paul McKinney. I'm from Cedar Hill. My background is in engineering and project management, which means I've probably spent hundreds of hours actually looking at fluoride this year. I've given you a 3-page document. It's got a nice little map of Dallas on it. And the 2 things that I want to talk about today are, when people talk about fluoride and the damage from fluoride, they'll talk about fluorosis and that it's cosmetic damage. And I want to talk today about 2 pieces of hard data that I have with me that show there's more health impacts than just the cosmetic impacts of fluorosis from the fluoride arsenic product that we put in our water. The other thing that I want to talk about is the current process that we have in place for water fluoridation in Texas, but specifically in Dallas, is not in compliance with CDC recommendations. What the CDC recommends is that every person should know whether the fluoride concentration in their primary source of drinking water is below optimal, or above optimal. And where we are in Dallas right now is on this chart, the numbers that we show are what we put in our water quality report. However, the real number that we have for fluoride in our water from Dallas is 62% higher than what we show in our water quality report. And it's all based on the process and how those samples are taken, and I discuss that a little bit more in the document itself. Some of the information that I've included here has actually been 2 lab reports that I've taken on myself on fluoride. It's the ones that the medical community uses to determine the levels of fluoride. One of them that I took was 2 years ago. The other one that I took was just about a month ago. And basically, my wife and I, we're pretty healthy. We eat all organic, raw. We have a water filtration system that ionizes, and I've sent it to labs. It takes out 40% of the fluoride. But if you look at the lab report, my lab report shows that my fluoride levels are 2 times higher than they should be for the average person. And I would venture to guess that other people are going to have these same kind of issues. Another, this is a stack of MRIs and X-rays from my 90-year-old mom. She has lived in Dallas and has used Dallas water since the day they introduced fluoride. You can't see this from there, but there's 5 orthopedic surgeons that have looked at this. This vertebrae, that vertebrae, and that vertebrae all have osteosclerosis. Osteosclerosis is the direct result of fluoridation. I'd like to thank you very much for your time today.
Your next speaker, Kevin Regis. Mr. Regis will be followed by Melvin Boyd and Rebecca Marmaduke.
Okay, my name is Kevin Regis. I reside in Dallas, Texas, District 2. There are many studies done that show that the citizens of America consume the most amount of fluoridated water of all of the countries, both developed and undeveloped combined. Blacks as well as Hispanics are more susceptible for dental fluorosis, that's discoloration of the teeth, than those who live in upper class areas. Some of the reasons for this is because of their living conditions, which for a large majority of blacks in America is impoverished, and another is because of their biological makeup. For example, black people have a higher absorption rate than their Hispanic or Caucasian counterparts. Fluoridation in the water was first believed to help rid America of rampant cavities. However, past as well as current research shows that fluoridation in the water has done and continues to do very little to help fight cavities. The inner city has to suffer with the ramifications of adding additional fluoride to the water. This is because those who live in impoverished neighborhoods, including Dallas, cannot afford to purchase unfluoridated water all the time. It's easier to turn on the faucet than to open up a bottle of water that costs $1 or a couple of cents. Constantly using bottled water can get expensive. Buying a water filter that filters out fluoride successfully can be costly as well. And for a family living paycheck to paycheck, buying a $1,000 water filter is out of the question. Too much of anything is bad. This obviously includes drugs. Hydrofluorosilic acid is a biohazardous waste, but the FDA has labeled it as a drug. Drugs need to have controlled recommended doses. However, there are no recommended amounts for how many glasses of water one should drink before this so-called drug becomes an overtly harmful toxin. The matter of fluoridating water is a civil rights issue because a position to take that is best for the people of this city has been thrown aside and makes life for those who are poor even worse. I believe and I know that the best position to have on the topic of water fluoridation is to stop the addition of fluoride to the water. Lastly, I would like to thank you guys for all your good works that you do for the city, and I hope and pray you'll do the right thing when the season comes around for you guys to renew the contract for further water fluoridation. Thank you. God bless.
John Greer.
Mayor Rawlings and Council, my name is John Greer. I reside at 2705 Dogleg Trail in McKinney, Texas. I'm here to plead with the Council to stop the fluoridation of the public water supply. I am epileptic, having suffered 15 years from age 15 to 30 with grand mal seizures. Doctors have had no clue as to the cause and do not care to find one. I have been seizure-free for 11 years now, taking extremely high doses of very caustic medicine to stop the misfiring in my brain. Too many nasty side effects to mention in 3 minutes. I have done years of research identifying possible ways to remove neurotoxins from my body to lower and one day get off my medication. I have removed all amalgam fillings from my teeth that for years the so-called professionals have said like fluoride were safe, only to recently come out and say that it is toxic. I eat a gluten-free, mostly organic diet, taking many supplements, avoid chemicals in my food as best I can. I'm not going to go into what fluoride can do or even how bad of a neurotoxin it is. You've heard it for many months now from many concerned citizens and professionals alike. It is time to take action to correct this wrong and provide us with clean drinking water. When you ask me what taking fluoride out of the water means to me, I would say it could mean the difference between life and death. The $8,000 I spend each year on medication, the horrific side effects I suffer daily, and the thought that my liver may fail because of it is not a good trade-off, so that so-called less fortunate children can get fluoride. Less fortunate children are usually covered by CHIP and or Medicaid that includes topical fluoride treatments that are effective if under a dentist's care. This council has the chance to help so many with one decision. With you hearing all the facts to continue down the same path of mass medication would not just be irresponsible or irrational, it would be a violation of a basic right of informed consent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Grayson.
Mr. Greer,
Yes.
did you grow up in Dallas?
I grew up in the Dallas area in the colony.
Well, I just noticed that you and your wife live in McKinney, and McKinney has a different water system
Yes.
than we do. So, you know, if we remove fluoride from our water, it still would, it might impact you if the North Texas Municipal Water District
Yes,
doesn't.
ma'am. By y'all, Dallas is such a big municipality that anything y'all do will be a domino effect. We've seen other cities, Israel, the park cities has never fluorided, put fluoride in their water. So y'all taking that massive step will give us the next step to go to McKinney.
Okay, I appreciate that, and thank you for coming down. I just wanted to point out that your water system is different than ours.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
aware. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Ms. Grayson.
Your next speaker is Phyliss Greer.
Good afternoon, Mayor Rawlings and the council. My name is Phyliss Greer, and I live in McKinney, Texas, married to John Greer. I'm here today to speak also on the issue of adding fluoride to the Dallas water supply. My concern with this issue is the damage we are doing to the general public, specifically the children and persons with serious health conditions. I am a wife, mother, grandmother of 2 small children, and it kills me to know that my grandson is being bombarded with this toxin on a daily basis. And when my infant granddaughter is no longer being breastfed, she will also be subjected to this toxin. Now, I realize that the practice of adding fluoride to the water began decades ago, but so much information has come to light over the years. For the life of me, I don't understand why we're still even discussing it. How can we as a society support this practice knowing the dangerous effects of this drug? I also wonder, A, how a municipality is authorized to medicate the public. B, if we have received FDA approval for adding this medication. And C, how we can administer a drug without the consent of the public. I further understand the practice is costing the city of Dallas $1 million each year. That really does not sound like prudent use of public funds to me. The Dallas water already has a concerning amount of naturally occurring fluoride in the water, so it makes absolutely no sense to add more. It is my belief that the council has the opportunity to do something very big for the city, the state, and even the country. Once this practice of adding fluoride to the drinking water is halted in Dallas, I expect to see a ripple effect of other municipalities following suit. When it comes time for you to vote on whether or not to continue adding hydrofluorosilic acid to the drinking water for the city of Dallas, ask yourself 3 simple questions. 1, has this substance been proven to be safe and effective? Should the city of Dallas really be spending $1 million annually to administer a drug? And 3, would there be any harm from not adding fluoride to the water? I am pleading with you to do the right thing. In closing, my advice to you is this: when in doubt, leave it out. Thank you very much for your time and attention. God bless you.
John Parks. John Parks. Mr. Parks will be your final speaker.
Thank you. I have, most of you probably drink bottled water. I was looking at the statistics, and about $12 billion a year are spent by the U.S. population on bottled water. Your average American drinks about 31 gallons of bottled water on average. That shows that the overwhelming majority, or a large percentage of the population, tries for non-polluted water, tries to take active steps, active measures to have clean water that is toxin-free and free of pollutants. Additionally, I'm going to be leaving an information packet with you all. Here is a way, there's listed here ways that you can take care of yourselves and your family. Reverse osmosis is a water filtration system that takes fluoride and a large number of other toxins out. I'm leaving another one that is it's a gravity countertop water filtration system. Once again, specific. One of the selling points that they list on here is how to take fluoride out of the water. I'm leaving a lab report for that filter system and the wide range of pollutants that it removes from the water. These are ways that you can take care of yourselves and your family. But note on here that on these they specifically talk about fluorosilicic acid, which you all are about to be voting on in January on renewing the contract for. So there are already, not only is it a large percentage of the population doing bottled water and wanting filtered water, there are people willing to take the extra step to get water filtration systems that purify the water for themselves and for their family. More specifically, it filters fluoride. So my point is as the gentleman earlier spoke of, not everyone has the money and the resources and the motivation or even the ability to purchase these filtration systems. I've done it for myself. Y'all have the money with which to do so for your own family, but there are many people that cannot do that, and they suffer the consequences of that. So we've discussed, I've looked at seminars from experts on this matter. They have shown that fluoride is a neurotoxin. It targets intelligence, or it harms people's intelligence, it reduces IQ, and so there's all kinds of other unable to be quantified costs associated with that. And then there's, of course, the human element of how people suffer in their health and in their quality of life and in their potential from the fluoridation process. So I ask you, please do not just the logical thing, but also the humane thing. And come in January, please refrain from adding fluoride to Dallas City water. Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes your afternoon speakers.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned at 3:48 p.m. Thank you.